Today we are going to be playing SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, which many consider to be one of the best wrestling games ever made. But how does it feel to know that the game is now 21 years old in this year, and by the end of the year it's going to be 22 years old? Well, let's get nostalgic and have a look back at Here Comes the Pain as it was back in 2003. So I figure what better way to get into Here Comes the Pain than recreating one of the best main events from that year. Of course, Shawn Michaels made his return at SummerSlam in a no DQ match against the Game Triple H. So let's have a little play around in there. And here enters the game. The Game Triple H. So yeah, I've got a really hoarse throat right now, so like that's the best time ever to be doing this kind of shit. I don't think I've ever seen Triple H walk up the stairs, but you know, Ukes knew what they were doing, right, when they made this game. This is like a baller game. The shape of the title is a little bit weird though, I will admit. And we got the water spit, it's looking good. Pretty good model for Triple H as well. Alright, welcome to Here Comes the Pain. I don't remember the controls. I always have this issue where, because we play so many games on the channel, I forget what the controls are quite often. Alright, so it's circle to grapple, so circle to pick up, Irish whip, do all that fun stuff. There's a table break already. The first minute of the match, we're getting a table break in there. It is, so yeah, circle to grab and lift up and Irish whip and do your grapples and do your moves and all that cool shit. X button to attack, so I guess that's like your strikes, right? Your strikes and your combos. I think, oh, switch in music, take that, Triple H. Yep, square is going to be your action button, so that is to leave the ring, grab weapons, all that fun stuff. Oh man, we reversed them. No, you reversed me. I reversed them. And into the ladder. Are we going to do a second hit? No, that's unfortunate. And finally, the control to run is triangle, where we can do a switch in music. And we put H onto the ladder, he bounces off. That looks sick as hell. What an animation. I kind of wish some of these animations were still in the game, to be honest. Oh, I got whacked. How do you like your H? Take that. So as you've probably noticed, this game is like crazy fast-paced. Like, to be fair, it's probably not as fast-paced as like maybe SmackDown 1 or 2 was, but it's definitely fast-paced enough to be faster than probably what you're used to in WWE 2K nowadays. You can do these amazing like attacks with the chair as well, so you get really cool animations. I think you can do grapples with the chair as well, but I can't remember how. Oh, you taunt with the right stick, that's good to know. And you can break up the taunts by moving as well. I can't remember. I swear there was a way to do grapples with... Oh man, I could have sworn there was a way to do grapples with a weapon, but obviously not. So to do finisher, you still need to be in position, and you need to get your opponent groggy enough to the point where they can be hit with a finisher. So usually you do that with a chest kick or a midsection kick. Oh wow, I forgot that you can just straight up put people through tables like that. God, this is so much fun. I haven't played Here Comes Pain in a while. I did do a video playing every single SmackDown game in one video. And I absolutely love those videos. Being able to play all those SmackDown games just takes me right back. Honestly, it's such a wonderful time in my life, and being able to hop into all those games in one go, I think, is such a privilege. Crossbody didn't clear it, unfortunately. Oh, he might. Oh, I thought he was going to pedigree me through the table there. Thankfully, he didn't. He still might though. Oh, knee strike through. Knee strike through the announce table. God, these games are just so much fun, aren't they? No! No! Oh no, I might get pinned here. I don't know if it's a pinfall match, but that's unfortunate. I was trying to show off as much as possible for the game and unfortunately got pinned. So that's just how the cookie crumbles, I guess. What's really cool about this game as well is I think depending on the way that you hold the movement stick during these ending animations changes the way that the animation plays out. So if H wanted to, I think he could attack me here. But he's also just going to do his ending animation. I feel like that was the case. Maybe that's just shut your mouth, but I feel like there's a way to like control the way that these scenes play out. So Here Comes the Pain came out in 2003, which is very much when I was in my later years of primary school. I don't know what they're called in America, but it's like my 6th year of education, so I guess 6th year, 6th form, I don't know what Americans call it, sorry. Either way, I was in like elementary school, that's what it's called. Anyway, I was in primary school as we call it, and I was able to come home, watch the tweenies, and play this game. I used to play this all the time with my brother. I talk about him a lot on the channel here because he's obviously the person that introduced me a lot to wrestling. And yeah, like I just remember like we had iterative updates every year for SmackDown games, but Here Comes the Pain in particular was just such a special game. And you know, when Shut Your Mouth came out, we did move to Shut Your Mouth, but I do remember playing Just Bring It a little bit after Shut Your Mouth came out. However, when Here Comes the Pain came out, it was game over, man. We never played anything else after that. So with that being said, let's look into some of the new additions that came into effect as of Here Comes the Pain. One of my favorite matches in this game is the 3 Stages of Hell. I don't know if it's new this year. I don't think it is. In fact, it's definitely not because it was in SmackDown too. But the 3 Stages of Hell with all the other match types in this game and the way that the game plays, I just absolutely love the 3 Stages of Hell. This game did introduce the bra and panties match for those who are so inclined to play here, you know, bra and panties matches. I know that they're very popular and it's very of the time, but looking back now, it's not really something I'm overly keen on playing. But this is the first game to feature the Elimination Chamber. The first Elimination Chamber did take place in, I guess, 2002. And yeah, this is the first game to feature the Elimination Chamber. Again, I did play one in the I played every SmackDown game video, and yeah, like the Elimination Chamber, the way that they implemented the chamber in this game was like just absolutely mind-blowing. The fact that they were able to basically get everything right the first time around, and they never really changed it. Like even now, when you play the Elimination Chamber in SmackDown or in WWE 2K. The features that were in Here Comes the Pain are still available in 2K. Like you can break the chamber pod, you can climb the walls, you can jump off the chamber pods, you can smack people against the doors, you can do moves outside the ring. All of those features are here in Here Comes the Pain. And yeah, the implementation of the Elimination Chamber was fantastic for the time. So according to Wikipedia, this game has over 50 characters in the roster, which doesn't seem like a lot nowadays with your 2K rosters that have over 300 characters, but back then 50 was more than enough to get through the video game and do everything that you needed to do, really. With that being said, this is the first game to actually feature legends on the roster. I think there's only a few. We can have a quick look at them just now. I think it's like Legends, Undertaker, and maybe Jimmy Snuka. But we're going to do a special guest referee here. So if we look at the special guest referee list, unfortunately you only get access to like 5 people. I don't know why that's the case. But I can only select Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon, and Eric Bischoff. Let's do Eric Bischoff. Why not? Weird that I can only do those 5 people as special guest referees, but whatever. So let's go for the roster, starting all the way from A, shall we? So you have Albert, who at this point was A-Train, obviously split away from Test doing his own thing. We have the LOD, so that is Animal. So this is the first time that we see Batista as well. I think that this actually bypasses the Deacon Batista storyline. I do not remember the Deacon Batista storyline, but when Batista broke into SmackDown, he was brought in by Reverend Devon Dudley. and he was Deacon Batista, but this is very much Animal Batista, although it has like the old song, and it's very early days for Batista. This is the first game to feature him, so that's very, very cool. We have the Big Show, who may be a heel or face, depending on the day, depending on the weather. He's got the handlebar mustache, which is a little bit concerning. Booker T returning from Shut Your Mouth. I don't think he made it into Just Bring It. But yeah, he's really cool in this game. He's got a really cool moveset as well. I really enjoyed playing as Booker T in this game. Brock Lesnar makes his second appearance in the video games. He was in Shut Your Mouth. But this game has the privilege of being named after Brock Lesnar. You know, whenever Brock Lesnar was talked about by Paul Heyman at the time, they would say, "Here comes the pain," or "Is the next big thing." And that's where the name of this game comes from. Every single previous SmackDown game was named after The Rock and his various catchphrases, hence why you had Shut Your Mouth, Just Bring It, SmackDown 2, Know Your Role. But this game, named after Brock Lesnar, because we're moving into a new generation with Brock Lesnar and the end of the Attitude Era. We're firmly into the Ruthless Aggression Era. So this is called Here Comes the Pain. Although the next game did drop the taglines altogether as it moved into SmackDown vs. Raw, but that's a conversation for another day. So we do have Bubba Ray Dudley here. Bubba Ray is part of the Dudley Boys, but I feel like this is very on the tail end of the Dudley Boys. I think they did actually make it into SmackDown vs. Raw, wearing their yellow outfits, but yeah, this is like, they were winding down here for sure. Charlie Haas is part of the world's greatest tag team, Chavo Guerrero. Don't know who that is, never heard of him. And then you've got Chris Jericho, who is one of my favorite Chrissies. Of all the Chrissies in wrestling, especially at that time, he's a pretty damn good Chris. And then you've got Christian, who could be another Chris. Vince McMahon famously hated him in the way that he looked, so to the point where he wanted to put him in a mask or put a blue dot over his face, which is highly offensive and sensitive. So here we have Devon Dudley appearing as part of the Dudley Boys as well. We have Eddie Guerrero there sporting the short hair. I think this is part of his Los Guerreros tag team he was doing with Chavo. We have Edge here, who's probably coming off of a intercontinental kind of run. This probably would have been around about the time he was fighting Kurt Angle, I think. Round about that time. So I feel like Edge and Christian were kind of split up at this point, and Edge was trying to kind of go off do his own thing. And I do remember him and Kurt Angle at this time having a really good storyline, which culminated in Kurt losing his hair, unfortunately. George the Animal Steel appearing as part of the Legends in this game. He appears this year in 2K25, which is also really interesting. George Steele's appeared in quite a few games, but yeah, his first appearance in the mainline SmackDown games is here in Here Comes the Pain. We have Goldberg as well, who made his debut here. I think he made it into quite a few other SmackDown games, but this is his debut. He was only really around for a couple months, maybe even a year in real WWE, which obviously culminated in his very infamous WrestleMania match with Brock Lesnar that was refereed by Stone Cold Steve Austin. And ultimately, you know, it was just a terrible match. You had Goldberg and Brock, who were both on their way out, refereed by Stone Cold Steve Austin, who obviously we all loved, but he was not wrestling at the time. He left because of injury, so that match was just absolutely dead on arrival. We've got Goldust here. It's very cool that Goldust made it into all these games. We got Hawk, the other half of LOD. Hillbilly Jim, whose hair is crazy. I'd love to know what the decision of putting Hillbilly Jim in the game was and not like literally anybody else. You've got the Hurricane, Shane Helms. The Sheiky baby, Iron Sheik is a legend. You got Jazz, Jimmy Snuka. Yeah, you know, whatever. The first appearance of John Cena is very cool. This is the Doctor of Thugonomics. He's going to go on to have one hell of a year, right? Because he's debuted the previous year with his Ruthless Aggression, slapped Kurt Angle, and was, you know, very much a prototypical wrestler. He's then going to change up his gimmick here to be a bit more of a rapper, the Doctor of Thugonomics. He can do promos backwards and he can rap on the fly. Yeah. It's a pretty good time for John Cena, actually, and the FU does appear in this game. So yeah, this is the first appearance of the FU. It's a good time for John Cena. Here we have Kane. Kane is also taking off the mask at this point, so he's lost the hair, he's lost the mask. I don't know what song he's rocking in this game, but This is a good time for Kane. This is like one of Kane's best runs, actually. Then we got Kevin Nash, who was there for a hot minute. I think they did an NWO angle, but he ended up tearing his quad. Who would have thought? And yeah, it was cut so tremendously short. Here you have Kurt Angle as well. Kurt actually being one of the highest rated people in the game. Freshly bald as of King of the Ring the previous year. But at this point, I'm pretty sure he's running with the world's greatest tag team. Although when he was running with the greatest world tag team, he did unfortunately have a broken leg. So WWE put him into the general manager role of SmackDown. So he was on SmackDown with the world's greatest tag team. And he was doing great work there as well. So if I could be serious for a minute, we have Lance Storm, who's one of the best wrestlers ever from ECW and WCW. Jumped over as part of the invasion. And it's very cool that he made it into here. But he really didn't make it into many WWE video games. But it's cool to see him here nonetheless. Fun fact, actually, Chris Jericho always said if he was to have a retirement match, he would have a retirement match against Lance Storm. So take that however you will. We have Lita here. Lita, part of the Hardy Boys, I guess. This has obviously been fixed now, but I never really liked that the women had lower overalls than men. And a lot of times, in this game, you can actually have men versus women. But when it got to the point in 2010 when you could no longer put men versus women, it never made sense that the women had lower overalls than men. And even in this game and all other subsequent games at this point, you could have Lita versus Brock Lesnar, but she would not stand a chance in hell. Because her overall is 48 and Brock's like a 91. I mean, you could definitely win as Lita, but it would just take you forever, and you'd have to be reversing so many things. I just never understood why they did it. I guess I get the rationale, but I mean, the women are just as good as the men. I don't get it. Then you get Matt Hardy V1 here. This is not quite Hardy Boys Matt Hardy. This is definitely V1. Jeff Hardy didn't make it into this game, unfortunately. I've just remembered he didn't make it into this game because Scotty J's Definitive Edition adds him back into the game, which I think either adds a new model or whatever. I think he was in the promotional material for this game, but he never made it into the final, fortunately. Nikolai Volkov is here. That's very cool. That rounds off the tag team that I can't remember the name of, but Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. Then you have the debuting Randy Orton. He may have been in Shut Your Mouth, actually, now that I think about it. In fact, I'm pretty sure he was. He has the RKO in this game, though. That's very cool. Although, unfortunately, he's still doing the overdrive, so... According to Wikipedia, this is the first time that Rey Mysterio appears as a playable character in a SmackDown game. So, very, very cool. Rhino here from... returning from Shut Your Mouth. He was here in the Invasion. We already seen Ric Flair as part of the special guest referee thing. You have Rico, Rikishi, Rob Van Dam returning, The Rock appearing as a roster member, although he wasn't really wrestling in WWE at that time. There is a fact here that this is the last game in the series to consider The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin as active members of the roster as well. From SmackDown versus Raw onwards, they are considered legends and they're no longer part of the base roster. So the times they are changing. We have Piper here as a legend. Although he did actually wrestle at that year's WrestleMania. I think he faced Hogan, or he was a referee, for Hogan or something. Rodney Mack, who I know literally nothing about. The only thing I know about Rodney Mack is that his theme song was reused for Teddy Long. That is literally all I know about Rodney Mack. Then you got Sable. Again, don't know very much about Sable. She was a big part of the 90s, the Attitude Era. I think probably by this point, maybe slightly after, she got married to Brock Lesnar. Scott Steiner's got insane overall. Holy shit. Scott Steiner appeared at like the Survivor Series, the one where the Elimination Chamber happened, and I don't remember anything else from there. I think he may have had a match with Triple H at one point. I don't remember anything from Scott's run here, unfortunately. Shawn O'Hare, don't really remember this. Shawn O'Hare, I really don't remember this run. He was here at the time. I don't remember anything, I'm afraid. Sergeant Slaughter. Can't spell slaughter without laughter. Already looked at Shawn Michaels. Shelton Benjamin's part of the world's greatest tag team. Stacey Keibler appearing here as part of the Dudley Boys because she was hanging out with them. She was hanging out with them at that time. Stephanie McMahon here as the general manager of... I thought she was the general manager of SmackDown. But either way, she's wearing a business suit. She's definitely in that category. Here we have Stone Cold Steve Austin. Pretty good model and stats for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then we have Steven Richards, who's not right to censor. He's just Steven Richards. We have Tajiri, Ted DiBiase, Test, Tori Wilson, Triple H. Of course, Triple H has to have the best overalls ever. Although, you know, to be fair to him, he was the World Heavyweight Champion at the time, so fair enough. Got a weird looking Trish Stratus in that render, but hey ho. Oh my god, Ultimo Dragon. I don't know anything about this guy, man. He appeared at WrestleMania 20, and I remember really liking the look when I was younger. But like Rey Mysterio was around at the time, and I was like, Rey Mysterio is really cool, and I don't know why there's Ultimo Dragon guys here. Also, he slipped during his entrance at WrestleMania, so he looked like a bit of a bitch. That is a severely cockeyed Undertaker, although I do like the model in the game. I did use it to do a warm-up match a couple days ago when I was doing the Played Every SmackDown game. I didn't realize the render was so cockeyed though. That is so funny. He looks really goofy. And then you got regular Undertaker. We have Val Venus, who we don't like anymore. Victoria, very cool. She is DLC, I think, this year in 2K25, so it's very cool to see Victoria make her way back into the zeitgeist. I have actually worked with her before, working with a wrestling company in Scotland. It was very, very cool. Then you got Vince McMahon, and that's about it. And this is where your created characters would appear if you had any created characters. So do you see what I mean when there's 50 people on the roster, but like the characters they've chosen are like legitimately good wrestlers? Like that's a very good roster for the time, and these people that you're going to be playing as, they're the main people who are going to be in WWE for the next couple of years. And yeah, I mean, the roster choice was pretty fantastic for the time, and the creation suite's pretty good as well. So even if you were trying to create characters, you used to go into a website called CausWS. I don't know if it's still around anymore, but you used to get formulas, and it would tell you the specific values for each of the sliders for creating a character, and you would just create like a custom Hulk Hogan or a custom Ultimate Warrior, and they would be really, really good stuff. And yeah, some of those call creators back in the day, man, they were legit, and I spent a lot of time creating those characters from formulas so that me and my brother could play, like, create pay-per-views. One of the favorite things I love to do as well is look through the arena list. So you have SmackDown A and B. A lot of people don't know what the difference is between the two of these, and I admit it's not the easiest thing to find out, but I think it's the venue choice. So like this one looks like it's going to be in Trump Plaza, like with the rounded roof. I don't know how to describe it, but whatever. SmackDown B, I think, is going to be more of a kind of Madison Square Garden type venue. I think it's the same with this. Raw A looks like it's in like a Madison Square Garden arena, and Raw B probably is in a more kind of normal style arena. But yeah, a lot of people didn't know what that meant, and even now it doesn't make a lot of sense. But I appreciate the fact that they gave us two options. I wonder in story mode, if you play season mode, if it automatically chooses different arenas based on the week. So then we have the Royal Rumble. I really like this Royal Rumble, although the entranceway is like offset to the right with the waterfall on the left. And the waterfall was like, they put the projector through the waterfall, and it looked amazing. I really loved what they were doing there. This is an awesome No Way Out stage as well. Whenever I see that No Way Out stage, I think of the time that Eddie Guerrero beat Brock Lesnar for that world title. Like, that was such a crazy moment at this time. Although I don't think it was this year. I think that would have been next year, because this is WrestleMania 19, and WrestleMania 19 had Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle for that world championship, and there may have been another match. No, there was no other match. It was just Brock Lesnar was the undisputed champion at the time, and he faced Kurt in the main event. Yeah. Unfortunately, though, this is the main event where Brock did a shooting star press, landed on his head, knocked himself the fuck out, and Kurt had to kind of walk him through how to finish the match. But hey, to be honest, it's still a great match. I mean, the knockout at the end of the match is it is noticeable now that you know, but it's not like it doesn't ruin the match or anything. It's still an awesome match. And then you got Backlash. Not really my favorite Backlash venue. I do like the spikes, but this ain't it. You know, I do prefer the previous Backlash stages. The Judgment Day stage is a little bit boring, I guess. It does look really cool in the game, but it's just a giant scaffold. It doesn't look great. Bad Blood's always pretty cool. I do like the big blood droplets that come down from the roof, and yeah, it's a very simple stage. I'd love to know what the thought process was for creating that kind of stage. I think this was probably more along the lines of a Hell in a Cell kind of show, right? Because they usually did Hell in a Cell shows at Bad Blood. There must have been one that year. I do like the Vengeance Arena. I've always quite liked the Vengeance Arena, even though it's very simple. It's literally just screen to the right, giant letter V to the left, and then a little doorway, and that's just simple, but I really like it. It's very cool. We've already spoken about SummerSlam. This is the one where Shawn Michaels came back and faced Triple H in a no disqualification match, but I do like that venue. It's a very, very cool arena. This Unforgiving arena is one of my favorites as well. The sizing on it is a little bit odd, admittedly. The Titantron is like way up in the sky, but the Unforgiven logo in the bottom with the scaffolding around the sides is very, very cool. This No Mercy stage is very, very cool as well. In fact, I do remember this No Mercy stage is the one that is designed around Hell in a Cell, because Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker had a Hell in a Cell match at this show. And I think the story was that The Undertaker had a broken hand and he was using the cast to attack Brock and stuff. Yeah, that was cool stuff. Survivor Series, I think this is a stage that never actually happened. I'm racking my brain trying to think if this ever was a real Survivor Series stage. The only reason I say that is because I've seen this stage for years and I've never ever seen it in real life, and I wonder if it's because this was the Illumination. This is the Madison Square Garden Survivor Series. This is the one that had the Elimination Chamber. So is this supposed to be like a fake stage that kind of mimics the Madison Square Garden stage? I think it might be. You have Armageddon here. I really, really like this Armageddon arena, actually, with the Raw and SmackDown logos on the side. You have the flames on top of them, and I loved like the A branding in the middle there. This event is most remembered for having a 3 Stages of Hell match between Triple H and Shawn Michaels. I think it was like a TLC and a cage and something else, or Last Man Standing or something. And yeah, it was awesome stuff. They did an amazing job with that match, and yeah, even now everyone remembers it and goes back to watch it. So great match. Don't really remember anything else on the show though. And then you get Rebellion and Insurrection, which a lot of people don't even know about, because Rebellion and Insurrection were UK only, well, I guess Europe only pay-per-views, and they were made exclusively for Sky Box Office. So if you had access to Sky Box Office back in that time, they were usually hosted in, well, they were always hosted in the UK, and they would be available exclusively for the UK market on Sky Box Office. As a result, though, they do feel a bit like house shows, because they don't really, or live events as they're called now, because there was never any title changes. There was nothing really going on there. All right, welcome to No Way Out, and we've got the Doctor of Thugonomics in the house. Not the best model he's ever had. Definitely can't defend that, because he looks mighty goofy. But I mean, the stage looks good, right? The arena looks good. So he just comes out to a regular Kane song. I forget what that song's actually called, but yeah, it's just his regular song at that time. He didn't come out to the actual, like, oh my god, I've totally, Finger 11. That's what it's called. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't come out to that song. You'll notice as well that these entrances aren't full. They are just like little tidbits of the entrance. They still haven't quite figured out full entrance animations yet. They were definitely just doing like highlights of entrances. So you'll see that Eric just jumped from the middle of the ramp right down to the ring where he walked up the stairs, and then he just teleports to the ropes. Like, that's just how entrances were back in the day. They didn't have the full animation, but they were still great. And to be honest, like, when I was younger, I never really questioned why we never got the full entrances. I just appreciated for what it was, and even now I still try and take that mentality into games, just enjoying it for what it is instead of complaining about the things that aren't there. Alright, so we are playing a special guest referee match against John Cena and Kane. We're playing as Eric Bischoff. I don't know how to play as a special guest referee. I can grab people. That's cool. I think actually, much like the special guest referee in the game now, you can definitely still get involved. I can grab Kane here. I can do an Irish whip. So if I wanted to, and then if I wanted to, I pick up John Cena and also Irish whip him into the corner where the two of them will. Oh, never mind. Oh, I almost got hit there by Kane. So I can definitely, you know, get involved. When the time arises, I will be able to count pinfalls, I'll be able to do countouts, I'll be able to do submission attempts if I so choose. I think there's a special animation that should play out at some point. So I think if Kane was to tap out here, I think I would get the option, I guess, to ring the bell. There are ways, I guess, to do like a screw job, right? To screw over the person that you're facing. But I don't know if I can do that here. Oh, here's our first pinfall. 1, 2. Oh, Cena, he kicked out. What can I say? And you see as well, I got momentum from that. I don't know if that was momentum from the Irish whips or if that was a momentum for counting the pinfall. But as a result, you know, if I do this right, I could end up getting a finisher. I don't know why Kane reversed it that way. By God, I will get... I didn't mean to choke you out. I want to just do the thing where you're both in the corner and it's cool as hell. Boom. No, come on, Kane. Kane's just not working with me here. That's fine. I'm just gonna be an impartial referee, obviously. If he's gonna go for this finisher, but he's not working with me, he's not cooperating, so I will count the pin at my own pace. Oh God, Cena might actually not kick out. 1, 2, 3. Fuck. Okay. Well, Kane kind of beat the shit out of John there. But hey, it's John's first year, right? Yeah, congratulations, Kane. Now he's going to be a dick to me. Of course he is. Thanks, man. So this game also features the usual suspects. You have all your creation features here. So you have create an appearance, which is create a wrestler, create a moveset, create an animation, and create a stable. I think as part of create an appearance, you can also update people's entrances and stuff. I don't know about real wrestlers actually, but you can definitely update your created characters' entrances, and you can also update the real wrestlers and created wrestlers' movesets from here as well. So if you were watching at the time and somebody pulled out, or actually, I'll give you a much better example. You want to remove that horrible overdrive from Randy Orton. You can do so by just going into the moveset here, selecting Randy Orton, and you'll be able to remove that horrible move called the overdrive. So look, here's Randy Orton. I know he's looking a little bit green. I mean, at the time, he was very green. So yeah, we go into special, and we have the RKO. So that's the RKO at the time. Weird animation. But then if we go here to the overdrive, this is what he was doing at that time as well. That was his second finisher. But say we didn't want that anymore, we just go into here and we can select the... it's in alphabetical order, so we just have to go to R. It's actually just occurred to me that no, you can't, because you can't have the same move as two finishers. But that's fine, whatever. It's just a basic example of how you would do that. There is also a season mode. The season mode is pretty good from what I remember. I don't remember starting a season in Here Comes the Pain. Ugh. Well, limo's just pulled up, folks. I wonder who's inside. Must be those centerfold models coming to pick me up. Jesus Christ. So they removed the free roaming from SmackDown Just Bring It and Shut Your Mouth and replaced it with this menu system. And, you know, I think a lot of people at the time were kind of 50-50 on it. I personally kind of preferred this. It's a little bit more streamlined, and you can still do all the things that you want to do in the previous games. It just so happens that you weren't able to free roam around. So if I wanted to go talk to someone, I click here to move, And then you see here, these are all the different areas that you can go to, and then going to these areas will just trigger a talking cutscene. So I can go talk to Goldberg, or I can go talk to the GM. Talking to the GM is the same interaction every single time. They're just going to tell me what my current ranking is, and if I want to go for a title, then I could go for a title. We can also go to the shop zone. If we go to the shop zone, you can see all the different items that are available to you for the game. So this is where you unlock most of the arenas. As I remember, you need to unlock the arenas by wrestling in them once. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what you need to do. You need to wrestle in the arenas once via season mode, and then you get the option to buy them from here in the shop zone. So I guess they cost, you know, the WrestleMania one here is $5,000. You generate cash through winning and playing matches in season mode, and then you use that cash to unlock the arenas here. You can also get some attires, move sets, loading screens, the whole shebang. Just a really nice progression system, I think. So 2K, take notes. I much prefer the way that you unlock things in these games as opposed to the current game. Here you can also update your attributes. You can also look at your profile and your stable information. So attributes are where you can increase your character stats. This is very specific to season mode. You're not adjusting the overall for the character in other game modes. You're only adjusting your characters overall for season mode. They are different. Here in profile, you can see you can add in superstars. So I think if you had, you could remove people as well if you didn't want them. But you see here that these legends are not part of the season mode. So if I did want them in season mode and to have matches with them and for them to appear in the rankings and stuff, I would have to add them from here. And this goes for create superstars as well. So if I had a create superstars, to say I'd created Hulk Hogan or the Ultimate Warrior, then I would also need to add them in here as well. So for the sake of completeness, let's look at the backstage area and go talk to Goldberg to see what Goldberg has to say to us. I don't even know what character we're playing as. What do you want? Are you interested in teaming up with me, or I want to fight you? Are we going to fight right now? You want a piece of me? Oh shit, we're just going to fight him right now. Well, there we are. That's the typical SmackDown season mode for you. You go backstage, you fight people, you get money. That's pretty much it. But let's see who we're playing as. This is a big surprise for us. Oh, we're playing as The Rock. That's a good deal. Also, Backstage Brawl. Holy shit. I remember really enjoying these Backstage Brawls back in the... There we are. I accidentally hit the referee with that box there, but that's pretty cool. So yeah, like a lot of these areas are super interactable. There's so many things to interact with. So you'll see there, I Irish whipped Goldberg into that cage and he climbed up. I messed with that button and I messed with that electrical box and it opened up the door, which then threw the box or threw that crate out at Goldberg. I'm trying to Irish whip him into this box here because there is actually an interaction here with this box. He's literally blocking everything I'm doing. I'm not even doing anything odd. Oh my fucking god, he's wrecking me. Help. Okay, we've got a hit in. Ow, never mind. I don't know what the criteria is for winning this match. I assume it would be pinfall. But look at this area, like there's so much stuff to do. Like if I Irish whipped him into those pipes, he would go... thanks for doing what I was trying to do earlier. He threw himself in there. What a fucking idiot. Yeah, if I was to Irish whip him into these pipes that are everywhere, he'd go flying. If I was to throw him into those barrels, they would have an animation associated with them. There we are. There's also those other pipes there, the loose pipes. They would break, or they would drop, and I'd be able to... Oh, I broke both the panels. So now to break out of here, though, we need to Irish whip him into... Or he might do it to me, I guess. We need to Irish whip him into these panels, and then they would break, but they fucking didn't. Alright, we're going to do the famous spit punch. Taking him out. Oh, there we are. Oh, sorry, I have to shake it. I forgot about that. Well, Goldberg's probably going to beat me here. Not having a good track record for this these matches here. He's going to hit me with a finisher right here. Fuck. There is a way to reverse finishers, but I haven't quite figured it out. I think you have to hit both triggers at the same time. Oh my god, I kicked out at 1. Get fucked, Goldberg. You ain't oh, that's unfortunate. How did I kick out at 1? How did I kick out at 1? And then he put me. I'm going to HR. Remember this, Rock. To be the man, you've got to beat the man. Me. And I was intimidated and lost 1 superstar point. So superstar points are your ranking system, essentially. So I don't know how many I've got, but depending on how many you've got, means that you can go for like different titles. Superstar points 87. So essentially, yeah, my rank is 87. So you need to be within certain ranges to go for certain titles. And I think like if I was to go for the WWE title, I think I'd have to be in the 90s or something. So if I went to the GM office and said, I want to go for the WWE title, they would just say no because I don't have enough superstar points. So we just started the show here. There is a tag team title match, there's Stacy Keibler versus Victoria, and then there's a main event tag match, but we're not even booked, so who cares about us, right? To be fair, I could have been booked originally, but because I did the Backstage Brawl, maybe I got unbooked. But here's a cutscene, so this is obviously part of the storyline that we were doing at the time. So, oh boy, Mr. McMahon himself. It's Vincent Kennedy McMahon to you. The man who owns the whole industry, Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. What's he doing here tonight? How are you all doing tonight? Good, I hope. Actually, you should all be grateful. Grateful you have something to do tonight in this piece of crap town. Anyways, let's cut to the chase. The Rock, that's me. You're a great talent, no doubt, but you just got your fucking ass handed to you by Goldberg backstage. You're not like those other low-life scum in this town. You actually have a future in life. But don't get too cocky. I'm out here praising you. Remember, all WWE superstars are my property, and I can make you, and I can break you. This is so much weirder post-lawsuit, right? Considering some of the weird shit that's in there. Anyway. Whether you'll be in the WrestleMania main event next year or not, it's all up to me. So, don't you forget that. That's all. Okay. Mr. McMahon already flexing his authority before even next year's WrestleMania. You better not cross the boss. So that's it. There we are. So, we lost SB points. We gained 3 experience, and I think we did gain some money, but no, we didn't gain any money. You'd get fucked. And that's how the story mode plays out. I've just realized there is no creative pay-per-view for this game, so I've obviously just, you know, made that up in my brain. But there is a creative pay-per-view mode in SmackDown vs. Raw, so I've obviously got those memories mixed up a little bit. So that's going to be us for today. I hope you enjoyed our look back at SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. It's one of my favorite games. I feel like over the years, you know, as we get older, you know, more and more people are going to start talking about games when they were growing up. So nowadays, a lot of people talk about SmackDown versus Raw 2011 as some of their favorite WWE games. Some people talk about WWE 13. Some people talk about 2K14 being the last Yuke's game and one of their favorites as well. But for me, I think Here Comes the Pain has a really, really good, solid place in my heart as one of my favorite SmackDown games, or just WWE games in general. I think the fast-paced action that they've got, the roster, just the time of year that it was. I think that the season mode is fantastic as well because it isn't overbearing. You don't have too many repeat storylines, and I think that the way that they tell the story to you is actually really, really good. And the fact that it isn't overly voiced, I don't think there's any voices actually in it. Maybe it's a couple of voice lines here and there for catchphrases, but like the mode is really, really good. And I think that being able to use anyone that you want to go through the season mode really, really makes a difference. I really think that Here Comes the Pain is just the culmination of multiple years of making amazing wrestling games, and the stars somehow just aligned in the most perfect way possible. The game has an awesome soundtrack, has an amazing roster, it's got a great season mode, the gameplay is so well refined, the camera system just emphasizes every single move that you do in such an intense way. Like every move that you do just feels like it hurts. And even though I've lost every single match in this video, I don't feel like I've wasted my time. I just love this game, and even though I lost those matches, I will live with myself. Come to think of it, I actually lost in the other SmackDown video as well, didn't I? In Here Comes the Pain. So maybe Here Comes the Pain is going to be the game that I need to really brush up on. I played it so much as a young child, but it's obviously a lot harder than I realized. The difficulties on normal, it shouldn't even be that hard. Well, that's going to be us for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please consider liking and subscribing. It obviously helps the channel. We're very close to partners, so every single subscribe counts and every single like matters and helps grow the channel. It's been great over the last few months being able to dive into these older games. I've done quite a few of these retrospectives now. And if you want to see more, then please consider checking out the playlist that is just here. But that's going to be all for Here Comes the Pain. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a great day. That's all from us today. Have a good one. Bye for now.